Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for stopping by the channel. So for this video, I wanted to give you a quick overview and my personal thoughts of the newly released TUDOR Ranger that's right on the heels of the 70th anniversary to the North British Greenland expedition. And I'm really excited about this release because at least on paper, I haven't handled this watch in person. The design characteristics and the revamped dimensions very much mirror my 39mm Rolex Explorer, the 214270 that was discontinued a couple years ago. And in certain areas, I actually think this TUDOR Ranger outperforms the Rolex Explorer, and it is also more approachable for someone who wants to get into a watch that very much feels like the Explorer, but is still a go-to-do-anything field watch. So if we go over the dimensions, as I did allude to, the revamped TUDOR Ranger is 39 millimeters in case diameter. The lug-to-lug distance is about 47 millimeters. Anecdotally, I've heard people report that the overall thickness for this timepiece is about 12 millimeters. So that's about 1 millimeter thicker than my Rolex Explorer, but I still think it's quite appropriate for a field watch. And the lug opening for the bracelet or strap options is an even 20 millimeters. So it's kind of nice, you have lots of options. You can purchase this watch on straps, but I would recommend getting it on the bracelet for reasons I will allude to a little bit later. Also, the current pricing for this watch is very approachable for what you're getting. The retail is around 3,500 Canadian dollars. That's less than half the retail of a Rolex Explorer, assuming you can even get your hands on one. Now, the case for the TUDOR Ranger is a no-nonsense, completely brushed 316L stainless steel case, which for this type of field watch, I actually kind of prefer. I do really enjoy the finishing on my 39mm Rolex Explorer, but the high polish bezel definitely shows scratches quite easily. And one area where I actually prefer the TUDOR Ranger over the Rolex Explorer is with respect to the crown, because one of my common complaints with the Explorer is I found the crown to be a little bit on the small side. And with the TUDOR Ranger, you're getting their larger and more aggressively knurled crown, so being able to operate it and unscrew it is quite easy to do. This watch has a similar 100 meters of water resistant, just like the 39mm Explorer. And one of the really nice benefits to the revamp to the TUDOR Ranger is that they replaced the top grade ETA movement with one of their own in-house movements, the Tudor Caliber MT5402. Now granted, it's not the most refined movement that they put out, but it still comes with 70 hours of power reserve. You got the silicone balance spring to aid with anti-magnetic properties, and it is a cost certified movement by Tudor, so they regulate these watches to about -2 to +4 seconds per day, which is very close to the superlative chronometer certification that Rolex uses when they have a deviation of -2 to +2 seconds. And I would like to mention that I actually prefer the Tudor Caliber movement over the Rolex Explorer 39mm simply because you're getting the 70-hour power reserve comparative to 48 hours on my discontinued 39mm Explorer here. Now with respect to the dial design, it's very much true to the outgoing iteration to the TUDOR Ranger. You have the cardinal 12, 3, 6, and 9 Arabic numerals on the dial, and then you have simple batons for the remaining hour indexes. The handset is also quite similar. You kind of got that spade style hour hand, a broadsword style minute hand, and then a nice red tipped seconds hand for a little bit of pop of color. And I do think the lume that is used on the TUDOR Ranger is quite potent and might be a little bit more intense than the Chromolite lume on the Rolex Explorer. Now when it comes to the bracelet on the TUDOR Ranger, I think this is another significant upgrade over previous iterations of the Ranger and also some recent releases from the Tudor catalog. One, you have a fitted solid end link bracelet, whereas in the past TUDOR Rangers it was more of like a straight fit bracelet where you can actually see a gap between the lugs. Secondly, there's no faux rivets or superlative vintage inspired design cues on the bracelet. And third, you're getting the T-Fit clasp on the TUDOR Ranger, which is something that was released with the likes of the Black Bay 58 Bronze or the recently announced TUDOR Black Bay Pro. And what this gives you is a lot of micro adjustment at the level of a clasp. I think the clasp is a little bit longer and more refined than, say, the Black Bay 58 or the 41mm Black Bay offerings. And with the on-the-fly adjustment, I actually prefer it more than the Rolex Explorer, which only has their Easy Link system that gives you all or nothing 5mm of adjustment. You can really fine-tune the on-the-fly adjustment on the TUDOR Ranger T-Fit clasp. So I think the clasp overall might actually be better on the TUDOR Ranger when you compare it to the 39mm Explorer. Now hopefully I will get my hands on the TUDOR Ranger and make a follow-up video. But again, guys, on paper, I think this is an outstanding watch for the money. I mean, you're coming in at a watch that's sub $4,000. You're getting a 70-hour power reserve in-house TUDOR movement. You're getting upgrades to the bracelet and clasp. You're getting a much more comfortable fit with the dimensions of the revamped Ranger. And you're still also getting a 5-year warranty that's backed by TUDOR, which is the same type of warranty you're going to get from Rolex. But as always, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this announcement as well. What do you think about the TUDOR Ranger, and do you plan to pick one up in the future? Now, if you do enjoy this content, please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It always helps out. And as always, I can't wait to catch you guys in the next video.